Hey there, I'm Alexander Sterling, and here we explore how to live boldly, embrace vulnerability, and break free from self-doubt so you can live a life that's true to who you really are. Now, let's be real. Failure sucks. It's uncomfortable, it's frustrating, and it can feel like the end of the world when you're in it. But here's the truth. Failure is inevitable. It's part of the process, and the people who achieve the most in life aren't the ones who avoid failure, they're the ones who know how to handle it and come out stronger. And today, I'm gonna show you how to do just that. First things first, let's redefine failure. Most of us have been conditioned to see failure as a negative, as something to be ashamed of. But in reality, failure is one of the best teachers you'll ever have. Think about it. If you're not failing, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. Failure is a signal that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, trying new things and aiming higher. But the key to handling failure is to change how you see it. Instead of thinking of failure as a dead end, see it as a part of the process. Failure is feedback. It's information that tells you what didn't work so you can adjust, refine, and try again. Every failure is a step forward, as long as you take lessons from it. So instead of beating yourself up over mistakes, start asking, what can I learn from this? Because that's where the growth happens. One of the biggest mistakes we make when it comes to failure is tying our self-worth to our outcomes. We start to believe that if we fail at something, it means we are failures, but that couldn't be further from the truth. You are not your failures. Failure is something that happens. It's not who you are. When you separate your identity from your outcomes, you give yourself the freedom to try, to experiment, and to learn without the fear of it defining you. Here's a simple mental shift that works. Instead of saying, I failed, say, I experienced failure. This subtle change reminds you that failure is something external. It's an event, not a reflection of your worth. And here's why that's so powerful. Embracing failure actually brings you closer to living authentically. When you accept failure as part of your growth, you stop pretending to be someone you're not just to avoid making mistakes. You start showing up as your true self, flaws and all, without the fear of judgment. Living authentically means embracing all parts of yourself, even the parts that stumble and fall. Here's the thing, failure hurts, and it's okay to feel that. A lot of people will tell you just to brush it off or move on. But the reality is, failure comes with emotions, disappointment, frustration, maybe even embarrassment. Ignoring these feelings doesn't help you. In fact, it can make things worse because those emotions linger and can build up into self-doubt or avoidance. So the next time you fail, don't rush to push the feelings away. Instead, acknowledge them. Let yourself feel the disappointment or frustration. Sit with those emotions for a moment. This doesn't mean wallowing in them, it means respecting the fact that failure does affect you. And once you acknowledge that, you can start to move forward. By embracing the emotional impact of failure, you're giving yourself the space to process it in a healthy way. This helps you bounce back quicker because you're not bottling up those emotions, you're dealing with them head on. Now, let's talk about how to actually use failure to grow stronger. Here's the deal. Failure is a tool. It's a mirror that shows you exactly where your weaknesses are and what needs to change. But it's up to you to take that feedback and to do something with it. After every failure, ask yourself 2 questions. 1, what did I learn from this? 2, what can I do differently next time? These 2 simple questions can turn any failure into an opportunity for growth. Let's break it down. When you fail, you're gaining data. That data shows you what worked, what didn't, and what adjustments need to be made. Use that information to refine your approach, to try new strategies, or even to shift your mindset. Every failure brings you closer to success if you're willing to learn from it. Successful people don't avoid failure, they master it. They understand that the path to success is paved with mistakes and setbacks, but each failure is a stepping stone, not a barrier. Now, let's talk about resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks, to adapt in the face of adversity, and to keep moving forward no matter how tough things get. It's one of the most important traits you can develop in life because life will challenge you. Things won't always go according to plan, and failure is a guarantee on the road to success. The more resilient you are, the quicker you can recover from failure, learn from it, and keep pushing forward. But what happens if you are not resilient? Without resilience, failure can easily knock you down for good. You become more likely to give up, avoid taking risks, or stop pursuing your goals altogether. You might start doubting yourself, believing that because you failed once, you'll fail again, and that can keep you stuck. But here's the thing, resilience can be built. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. Every time you face a failure and choose to get back up, you're building that muscle. You're training yourself to handle adversity and keep going, even when things get tough. The most successful people aren't the ones who avoid failure, but the ones who learn how to bounce back from it. They use failure as fuel to push forward, to improve, to become stronger. Remember, failure isn't the end. It's part of the process. With each setback, you're not just moving closer to your goals, you're becoming more resilient, more authentic, and ultimately more unstoppable. Living authentically is a journey, and you're on the right path. Keep showing up, keep growing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.